You don't need to be rich to start. Have you ever felt like investing is a world designed for other people? People with big salaries, clean suits, and spare money left over at the end of the month. Have you ever looked at your bank balance and thought, investing is not for me, I'm just trying to survive? But what if that belief is the very thing keeping you behind? What if wealth is not reserved for the lucky or the already rich, but for the disciplined? What if the gap between struggling and stability is not intelligence but a system? And what if the reason many working people never build real wealth is not because they lack effort, but because they never learned the safe, simple rules that make money grow? This audiobook is not here to hype you. It is here to ground you. Because beginners do not need excitement. Beginners need clarity. Beginners need safety. Beginners need a plan that works on a normal salary. And make no mistake, getting rich starts in the mind. But staying safe starts in the system. This is educational, not personal financial advice. You should think for yourself, verify what applies to your situation, and move with wisdom. But by the end of this journey, you will understand how to begin investing without gambling, without panic, and without chasing shortcuts. Start small. Stay safe. Grow slow. That is how real wealth is built. Chapter 1. The real reason people stay broke is delay. Many people think their problem is income. They believe, if I just earned more, everything would change. Yes, more income helps, but it does not fix the core problem by itself. Because the real enemy is delay. Delay is the silent thief that steals your future 1 month at a time. Delay convinces you that you will start when life becomes easier. Delay whispers, not now, next year, after the debt, after the raise, after the stress, and then years disappear. Here is the truth that stings, but saves you. Wealth is built when time is allowed to work, and time only works for the person who begins. Most people wait for the perfect moment, but the perfect moment is a lie. The perfect moment does not exist. The working class does not need perfect. The working class needs consistent, even small amounts, placed consistently into something that grows, can change a life, not overnight. Not by magic, but by momentum. Think about it this way. A little water poured into a container every day eventually becomes a river. But a person who pours nothing today because it feels too small ends up with nothing tomorrow. If you want a different future, you need a different relationship with delay. Stop negotiating with it. Stop calling it timing. Stop dressing procrastination in polite clothes. The first wealth habit is this. Begin before you feel ready. Not reckless, not blind, but intentional. Start small. Start safe. Start now. Chapter 2. Saving versus investing. What comes first when money is tight? One of the biggest mistakes beginners make is confusing saving and investing. They treat them like the same thing. They are not. Saving is protection. Investing is growth. Saving keeps you from collapsing when life hits you. Investing helps you rise over time. Now here is the rule that will keep you safe. If your life is unstable, prioritize saving first. If your life has basic stability, begin investing alongside saving, because investing without stability can turn into panic. And panic destroys wealth. So what does stability mean in real life? It means you can handle a small emergency without borrowing. It means your bills are not constantly pushing you into fear. It means you are not investing money you might need next week. The simplest safe order is this. First, handle essentials. Rent, food, transport, basic responsibilities. Second, build a small starter buffer. Not huge, not perfect. A buffer that gives you breathing space. Third, deal with high-interest debt with a plan. Not with shame, with strategy. Fourth, build an emergency fund gradually. Then, invest for the long term. This order is not to slow you down. It is to stop you from starting in a way that breaks you. Because the goal is not to start investing as a trend. The goal is to stay invested long enough to win. Saving protects your ability to stay in the game. Investing is the game. Chapter 3. Your emergency fund is your first investment. Most beginners think investing begins with stocks. But the truth is, investing begins with stability. Your emergency fund is not just money sitting there. It is freedom sitting there. It is a shield. Without an emergency fund, Every unexpected expense becomes a crisis. And in a crisis, people make bad decisions. They borrow. They sell what they shouldn't sell. They panic. They break their future to survive the present. An emergency fund prevents you from robbing tomorrow. This is why your emergency fund is your first investment. It invests in your calm. It invests in your patience. It invests in your ability to endure. A beginner does not need a massive emergency fund to start improving. Start with a starter fund, one that could cover a basic surprise. The exact number differs for different people, but the principle stays the same. Build enough to stop small problems from becoming disasters, then grow it over time. And here is a mindset shift that changes everything. Stop seeing an emergency fund as money that is not growing. Start seeing it as money that stops you from losing. Protection is a form of growth, because it keeps your progress intact. Chapter 4. Debt and Investing. When investing is the wrong move, some people start investing while carrying high-interest debt, and they do it because they want hope. They want a shortcut out. But hope without strategy is dangerous. Here is the reality. High-interest debt is like a leak in your financial bucket. You can pour water in, but it drains faster than you can fill it. If you invest while the leak is severe, you might feel productive, but you are fighting with one hand tied behind your back. Now, this is not saying you must be debt-free before you invest anything. It is saying you must be wise about which debt you carry. High-interest debt, especially revolving debt, can crush your progress. If your debt is charging you aggressively, your priority is to control that fire. You do not build a house while the foundation is burning. A safe beginner approach is simple. Create a plan to reduce high-interest debt consistently. Build a starter emergency fund. Then begin investing in small, sustainable amounts. Why small? Because small keeps you in control. Small helps you build the habit. Small prevents you from investing with fear. Your goal is not to prove you are an investor. Your goal is to become one. Chapter 5. The Beginner Investing Mindset. You're not gambling, you're building. Many people fear investing because they think investing equals gambling. They imagine it as a casino. They imagine it as risk and chaos. That fear is reasonable, because a lot of people do treat it like gambling. But safe investing is not gambling. Safe investing is ownership. When you invest in a diversified way for the long term, you are not trying to win a lottery. You are buying a small piece of productive activity over time. You are not chasing quick money. You are building a machine. And the machine runs on patience. This is the mindset that protects beginners. Investing is a long-term habit, not a short-term thrill. The moment you start investing to feel excitement, you become vulnerable. You start chasing trends. You start listening to loud voices. You start making emotional decisions. And emotional investing is where beginners get hurt. So here is a rule you must keep. If you cannot hold it calmly, you should not buy it urgently. Start small. Stay safe. Grow slow. That is not just a slogan. It is protection. Chapter 6. The 3 concepts that make investing simple. You do not need to know everything to begin safely. You need to know the few fundamentals that control the outcome. There are 3. First, compounding. Compounding means growth builds on growth. It is not just your money growing, it is your growth growing. This is why time matters more than speed. Because compounding needs time like a seed needs soil. Second, risk and reward. Higher reward usually comes with higher risk. Beginners should not chase high reward. Beginners should build strong reward. There is a difference. Strong reward is steady, sustainable progress. High reward is often unstable and emotional. Third, diversification. Diversification. Diversification means you do not depend on one thing. You spread your exposure. You reduce the damage if one part performs poorly. This is safety in action. Compounding, risk and reward, and diversification. If you respect these 3, you can invest without being reckless. Chapter 7. What to invest in. Simple and safe for beginners. Beginners often ask, what should I buy? They want a specific thing. A name. A secret. But the truth is, beginners don't need secrets. Beginners need simplicity. In simple terms, the safest beginner approach is usually broad and diversified. Not concentrated, not complicated. Many long-term investors use diversified funds that represent large baskets of companies rather than betting on a single one. The logic is simple. If you own a basket, you are less dependent on one company's fate. Now, this is not a recommendation to buy any specific product. It is a principle. Diversification reduces fragile risk. Also understand this. If you are new, you do not need complex strategies. You do not need constant buying and selling. You do not need to predict the future. You need consistency. A beginner should focus on building an investing habit that can survive stress. The best plan is one you can follow even when life is hard. If a plan requires perfect discipline, perfect timing, and perfect emotion, it will fail. Choose simple. Choose diversified. Choose long-term. Chapter 8. How to start investing. Step by step without overwhelm. Now let's make this practical. Step 1. Define your purpose. Are you investing for long-term security? For retirement? For financial freedom later? The purpose determines your patience. Step 2. Choose a contribution amount that does not threaten your life. It can be small. Small is respected here, because small repeated becomes large. Step 3. Make it automatic. Automation is the discipline you do not have to negotiate with. When investing depends on mood, it fails. When investing is scheduled, it survives. Step 4. Choose a simple, diversified direction. Avoid making your first investing decision a complicated one. Step 5. Commit to consistency, more than excitement. Your goal is not to win. Your goal is to build. There is a powerful principle many steady investors follow. They invest consistently over time, regardless of noise. When prices are up, they invest. When prices are down, they invest. Why? Because consistency removes the pressure of perfect timing. And perfect timing is a trap. Your first stage is not brilliance. Your first stage is habit. Chapter 9. Protect yourself from scams, hype, and emotional traps. If you are a beginner, understand this clearly. There are people who make money from your confusion. They sell urgency. They sell fear. They sell greed. They use big promises to bypass your logic. So here is a rule that can save you from financial pain. If someone pressures you to act fast, they are not protecting you. They are using you. Another rule. If something promises guaranteed returns with no risk, it is either a lie or a trap. And another. If the strategy cannot be explained simply, you should not trust it quickly. You do not need secret deals. You need stable principles. Also, protect your mind from emotional decisions. When you feel fear, pause. When you feel greed, pause. Create a pause rule. A decision is not allowed the same day your emotions spike. This is how you stay safe. Because money rewards calm people and punishes rushed people. Chapter 10. The long game. How working people actually build wealth. This is where most people misunderstand investing. They think wealth is built by speed, by big moves, by dramatic wins. But real wealth is usually built by boring consistency. The working class wins by staying in the game, not by trying to outperform the world, not by trying to predict everything. Staying invested matters. Staying consistent matters. Staying calm matters. If markets rise, do not become arrogant. If markets fall, do not become hopeless. In simple terms, volatility is normal. Noise is normal. Fear is normal. But you must not obey fear, because wealth is not built by reacting. Wealth is built by repeating good decisions for years. Here is a powerful finishing truth. The most important skill in investing is not choosing what to buy. It is choosing not to quit. Start small, so you can start now. Stay safe, so you can stay consistent. Grow slow, so you can grow for real. Start small. Stay safe. Grow slow. You do not need a miracle. You need a method. You do not need to be rich to begin. You need to be disciplined enough to start. Remember the core principles you now carry. Saving protects you. Investing grows you. Time multiplies you. And patience keeps you safe. Getting rich starts in the mind, and it continues with a system you can live with. If you want more audiobook-style lessons on money, mindset, and building a stable financial life, subscribe to Audiobook Lib and explore the playlists. Your future is not waiting for luck. It is waiting for leadership. Start small. Stay safe. Grow slow.